Y'all be thinking y'all the only option. Baby, I can go date an Indian, a Hispanic, a white man. Y'all not the only options out here who think y'all doing well for yourself, and that's the problem.
You know what's the problem?
Y'all done put yourselves on a pedestal when it comes to black women, and y'all need to bring it on down because we have gotten to start dating outside our race. Okay?
That's true.
And finding a white man, you're not.
You know why y'all do that? Y'all do that and go make it look pretty, right?
And we having a time of our lives.
You is. But the moment all that glamour run out, that feel ain't there, that culture ain't there, that hug ain't there, that hawking figure of a black man ain't there. So you know what y'all do? Y'all stay with this good. He may be a good man, but he ain't giving you that feel.
Again,
my family don't look at him and say, he don't look right in pictures with me. I need to leave. And that's what y'all do.
All right, welcome to another episode. This is Mike Perkins, one half of MVP, one half of Mike and Vince Perkins, one half of Opinions I Like Podcasts, and for this here, I'm the whole show. So you saw the clip in the beginning. It's a young lady, black young lady. She is on, I think that's Cruise Season, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where I saw that clip from. And she is conveying that black women nowadays have more options to go and hop the fence, go to different races of men, white men, Indian men, Asian, Mexican, whatever, Yeah, and in that she was, expressing that black men thinking that they're the only option is a thing of the past, and black women specifically, are recognizing their actual worth and value on the dating market. Okay, so I was thinking about that, and it took me a minute. I saw the clip a while ago. It took me a minute to kind of like articulate what I was feeling in the moment, because I really feel sorry for old girl, right? Because the reality of it is that men are wanting 4 very basic things. I'm not talking about men across the board. You know what I'm saying? It's around 209 countries in the world. So let's just say 200 nations. Let's do that. And of the 200 kinds of men, I think that they want basic things. It's fit, friendly, feminine, cooperative. Now, in other countries and other nationalities, ethnic groups, they might, instead of wanting cooperation, they might want submission. But let's just say cooperation for the time being, because that's a kind of universal thing that we can all, get with. That's a baseline, a baseline thing that we can all get with. Okay, so those 4 things. I would ask her, where do you think that black women rank in those 4 things? Where do you think black women rank in fitness? It's just a number. This is not saying that, your kids don't love you. It's not saying that your job, you're not good at your job. You don't have any talents. You know what I'm saying? You're not a good person at heart. It's just asking strictly, where do black women rank in fitness? It's a number. It's your height and your weight. Where do black women rank in fitness? If you said out of 200, because it's 200 nations, if you said 1, I would be like, 100, I'd be like, it's probably somewhere closer to the bottom, right? I would ask, where do black women rank with regards to friendliness? Do they have a reputation for friendliness? Whereas hopping the fence makes sense. Can you go to another race of men at your level of friendliness and get these men? Where do you rank out of 1 to 200? Where do you rank? It's 200 nations just about. Where do you rank? Could you go to an Indian man and beat their women out for friendliness? If you couldn't, then you probably are not going to be able to make that transition to hop the fence. Not to say that you can't try. Hey, look, I'm not telling this woman not to try, or any woman not to try for that matter. But let's have the conversation and be practical about it. Where do you all rank with regards to friendliness? Do you all even like each other? Do you all even get along? Where do you rank with regards to friendliness? Where do you rank with regards to femininity? Again, I don't think there's any other race of women who say that they're both mommy and daddy to their kids. I don't think that there's any other race of women that says they're strong, independent, don't need no man. I don't think there's any other race of woman that feels comfortable with getting in their men's faces and being aggressive on that level. I'm not saying that you're bad people. You know, my mama black. All my cousins, girl cousins is black. All my, my nieces is black. Everybody in my family black. I'm just trying to go down the line of logic of it making sense that women hopping the fence is a thing. Because if it's not a thing, then we kind of got to be honest about what it is that you're saying. It's just an idle threat. Where do you rank with regards to friendliness? Do you think you're friendly, kind, easy to be around, a good hang? Do you think that that's what you are overall? Or do you rank among, again, the bottom with regards to friendliness? Can you go to South America and take your level of friendliness and have that translate? I would ask lastly, and I think this is the most important one, where do you rank with regards to cooperation? I think this one is the most important one. Where do you rank? The same group of women that say, I'm grown, I got my own, you can't tell me nothing, you can't check me, boo, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man. What level of cooperation do you think you're getting from that group of women? Out of 200, Japanese women, Saudi women, Indian women, Nigerian women, Kenyan women, Egyptian women, where do you rank from 1 to 200 on cooperation? If all of those categories, you find yourself at the bottom, then I would ask, just logically, just going down the line of logic, how do you then justify an idle threat like we can just go? Now look, if I was to have a conversation with the young lady, if she said that, I'm indifferent to that. A lot of times, man, when girls, when women, black women specifically, are saying we can do this and we can do whatever, I say, look, go do it. Go get it. Go get him. Go get him, tiger. Rawr. Like nobody wants to get in your way. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to get in your way. But I don't have to save you. And the dude, after that, after the conversation, after what she said, y'all think y'all the only option. And it's like, well, obviously jumping the fence doesn't make sense because, look, it doesn't make practical sense because the thing that you have to be is not something that you're conditioned to be. The thing that they don't understand that they have to find is you have to find a man that is going to take your bullshit and be able to check your bullshit. Who else is conditioned to even understand that dynamic other than black men? Just from a, and again, if you can find that nigga, great. Like if you can find a white man, and really they're talking about white men. Let's be frank. They're talking about an older white man who's a trick. That's really what they're talking about. An older man that's a trick that wants some young poo-tang, and young relative, because if you're 35, that's not really young, but if the dude is 50, then that's a young cootie-cootie, What race of men are conditioned to take your bullshit and check your bullshit? There's only one race. That's us. Because they're not going to take your bullshit, which means checking it ain't even going, we ain't even getting to that point. And if they take your bullshit, they ain't going to be able to check it because they don't even understand what that is. That's why going to, and again, they're talking about a white man. Going to a white man, that may work. It may work, but he not going to check that shit. And not to say you want a nigga to check that shit, but the kind of man you want and that you're going to be with, yeah, you don't want to push him over. You don't want to push over. And if you do want to push over, great. If you get it, great. If you get a trick, great. Better. I'd rather you be over there happy than to be over here complaining and lying. Saying niggas don't take care of their kids, niggas ain't got no money, and niggas ain't shit. I'd rather be over there and be happy. If you're over there and you happy, that's great. It's absolutely great. No problem. Nobody's going to post nothing on Twitter. You notice that black men don't really be going hard on women jumping the fence. You know what I'm saying? No dude's going hard on like Serena Williams, and Zendaya, we don't really care about that shit. It's like, yeah, all right, cool. you know, it doesn't really, it's not really painful in that way. Like, you know, like they did Jay Ellis. Jay Ellis had to turn off his comments. Jay Ellis had to turn off his comments. He married a white woman. Married a white woman had to turn off his comments. It's getting ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? The dick policing is like an all-time high with us. We don't do a lot of coochie policing. You know, a lot of pussy policing. You know what I mean? We don't really care. You know, but I would ask practically, how does it make sense that you have another, and look, I'm not saying you don't have another option because I want you necessarily. I'm saying, like, from a practical standpoint, given your reputation, what options have you given yourself? Honestly, I want you to be happy. But if you want to be happy, and I want you to be happy, because I think most of us, most black men, look, we want to see y'all win, just not at our expense. Like, if you win, and the only reason you win is because you saying niggas ain't shit, we don't be taking care of our kids, and we be beating and killing black women, well, then I don't want you to win. If you only win because you lying on black men saying that some black dude did something to you and he didn't, well, then I don't want you to win. You know what I mean? If your story has to be a Mary J. Blige, Summer Walker, Keisha Cole story in order for you to win, then I don't want you to win. Like, I don't want you to win at my expense. Because that don't help us. You winning on your merit of how good you, that helps us all. You know, women athletes, like, shit, niggas was behind Serena Williams because she was kicking ass. She wasn't down to niggas. She wasn't saying niggas ain't shit. Even when she got with old dude that on Reddit or whatever, she didn't diss us. I think when she was asked why didn't she marry Common or Drake or any of the other dudes that she dated, she said, well, they never asked me. And that's fair. I think most dudes is like, well, yeah, if they didn't ask you, then you probably wasn't gonna get married. This dude did. He presented a deal. They didn't present a deal. So then that makes all the sense in the world. You know, nothing against them, but they didn't ask. And back to this young lady. Who are you getting that's going to bypass all the attitude, lack of cooperation, lack of friendliness? She didn't look unfit, but, you know, whatever. Like, she could have had, you know how they do. They be tucking it in and sprucing it up and, the surgery is just, surgery is real. You know what I'm saying? You know, girls be going to Brazil and flying back with their ass in the air. I saw videos, that's ridiculous, but neither here nor there, you know? And then the makeup issue. Like, we the only ones that gotta kind of understand, you know, I wear makeup because for me, but for me, but for you, but for this, you know, that conundrum that they put black men in, like, nobody else gonna deal with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And if they are, fine. But I'm talking about from a practical standpoint. Who do you think is going to deal with that bullshit? Because it's bullshit. Anytime, the way that dude answered that, it was the wrong way to answer it. I would just went down the line of logic and just asked her, how do you think you're going to infiltrate Mexican men? So, for example, 30% of our college graduates marry out. 30% of black men who are college graduates marry out. Okay, that's a high number. You know what I'm saying? That's a very high number. That's high. You know, because if you're a black dude and you're going to college, you likely, you're around some black people. And of all the black women that are available, you said, I'm straight. And then you went on and you got you a white woman or a Mexican woman or an Asian woman or whatever. Shout out to Christian Hutchinson. You know what I'm saying? He from the city, he from the town, you know, and he got a Chinese woman. Of which, congratulations, you know, but that's tough when you are in a city where it's mostly black and then you just like, all right, well, they're not really checking for me like that. I just go where they checking for me. She's checking for me. His story is that his wife was just nice to him. They went out. She was nice. You know what I mean? And she's Americanized, but she was just nice to him. She's from here probably, likely. You know what I'm saying? Her family probably not, but she was just nice to him. It's tough that 30% of our college graduates who are men are marrying out. I don't think that's the same for Asian men or, you know, Hispanic men or Saudi or whatever, you know, any Middle Eastern men. I don't think it's the same for them. I don't even think that any other woman of those races even let women get close to their men. They're like, no, I got him. I got his dick in his stomach. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, you got him already. You know, you already feeding them and making sure that he's fed. You're already making sure, you know, depending on the culture, you know, the sex thing is really, you know, that's relative. But they also get married earlier, right? So, whatever. But they're already taking care of their men and culturing their men, so there's just we're not gonna have that situation. With us, you all gonna start treating a nigga right until he own already. And women are going to these colleges. I gotta believe that y'all are going to these colleges. You mean to tell me that you going to the college with the niggas with potential, you leave the school from the niggas with all the potential that are in their 3rd and 4th year, and then you go out here and you hot girl some of your coochie away and who's dealing with that? Legitimately. Not like, who gonna deal with that? No, like, who is? Who? A white man? A Latino? Asian man? An African man? You think a man who is from Africa is gonna deal, like be for real? You think a Nigerian or a Liberian, a Kenyan? Certainly not nothing in the upper east. Just certainly not no nigga from Sudan. You know what I'm saying? Or Egypt. They're not realistically. Who? South America, Brazil. You think a Brazilian man dealing with that? And especially since they have a culture, whereas most of the women are there, and their culture to understand what submission is. Their culture to understand what being fit, being friendly. That's already baked into the culture. And then furthermore, they're black women too, most of them, and they're in shape. They already know. They already know the deal. Y'all go there to get the bodies that they got already. It's crazy. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying legitimately, a legitimate question. How you gonna execute that? How? Not saying you can't, but just tell me how. Where do they do that at? But I mean, hopefully the question makes the rounds as to how. But I imagine that they don't have no real reason. Because when she was talking about it, she was only talking about it relative to the things that black women specifically, have been told that men are either intimidated by or secretly want or whatever. We got our own businesses and making our own, who dealing with who? Legitimately who? Who is dealing with that? And if you don't have an answer, well, then there is your answer. Nobody. Probably, right? And I want you to be happy, because if you sad over here and you all downtrodden and listening to Keisha Cole and fucking whatever other, Summer Walker and Jasmine Sullivan and Whole Phasing and Whole Stories and Hotels and all of that, I don't want you over here doing that. If you're gonna be unhappy, I want you to go somewhere and get happy. If you gotta hop the fence, hop the fence. Ain't no big deal. Damn, we lost one again. Oh. But they gotta deal with the weed and the hyper-consumerism and the attitude and the fitness problem. They gotta deal with all of that. And if you can tell me legitimately that somebody will deal with that, I'll listen. But that's my time, yo. If you like what you heard, just give it a like, give it a subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Give me some comments. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate, a couple people that were in the comment section of the last video I put up. You know what I'm saying? Jackie Jack, Rod of God. You know what I'm saying? I've been on panels with them. They're really good people. And Perfect Storm, I think, commented on the last video. So shout out to him. And just anybody, man. Anybody that show love, man. We appreciate it over here. This is Mike Perkins, and I am out.